Hello. 206 exhaust. So first thing to do is rip the old one off. Why are we ripping the old one off? That has something to do with it, and it's blowing in multiple places. So not only do we need to fix the exhaust, I thought I might as well upgrade at the same time. Especially as, due to the GTI 180 rear axle, you basically, unless you're going to buy a GTI 180 rear exhaust system, which means getting rid of the spare wheel, you can't get one. So I'm going to make one. So this is a how not to make your stainless steel exhaust, because Tiggy ain't here today. Please see the links for a decent exhaust build, because this isn't going to be one. Me, a free MIG, thanks John, bottled gas, and some bad welding skills. I'm a bad welder. It certainly won't fall apart, but it ain't going to look pretty. Hopefully it'll work. Let's get the old exhaust off, that's the first thing to do. I've had enough of that. So I thought you might want to see just kind of a before shot, how rough the thing is. So this is what the exhaust looks like before. There's our cat, in inverted commas. Original bit of exhaust welded onto there, to a piece of exhaust from a 306 to a clamp, universal clamp, to another piece of exhaust welded on from some scrap, to a scrap back box from an RS Turbo, power flow, to some bad stuff going on there. It's blowing and knocking there, and the flexor that we can't see that's up in the tunnel there is also blowing badly. So that's the before. Let's hope the after looks a bit nicer. You can see our tight issue here between the axles. Alright folks, so it took me about 20 minutes to get all this junk off. As you can see, not in great condition. But it took me nearly 2 hours to get that thing off. Don't like that. Let's go make a stainless better version. Nah. Right then folks, so we've just got this line here. We just the actual flange is on the turbo right now, and this is a nice tight radius, 2.5 inch, but we have to cut that much off of it there to be able to actually get it into its position it needs. So we measured up how much it was, and then hopefully you can see that, we've measured up how much it was, and then we've gone all the way around, marking points all the way around. We'll cut that square now, take that to right, get the flange off, tack that up. So I'm not getting you any closer than this. You have to zoom in on your own screen. Hang on, I'll zoom in briefly. There it is, it's gone again. So there's a few things I've learned from just doing this alone. One, welder settings are just so critical, and the minimal ones I have on my free MIG, I can't seem to get it quite right. 1 minute it's running beautifully, one the next, which goes on my second point. I think welding is a magical art, and Tiggy has that magical art ability. So do many others I know. Number 3, I don't possess it. I suck as a welder. However, this is basically our elbow. You can see probably very quickly there's a few nice welds. Unfortunately, the nicest welds I did were around each of the eyelets, which then I've had to ground back in, obviously. And funny enough, maybe it's just taking a bit more time with those. I've learned you don't need as much power as you think. You need a little bit more wire than you think. So hopefully it will get better, especially as this bit isn't the bit that's going to be seen. So I've got to let that cool off now, and then we can test fit with the flexi, which is going on next, and weld and tap that on. Right folks, so a little update since last time. You can just see up there the cat, in inverted commas, and I've used the original bracket there, which was nice design. Just chopped the top off, laid it underneath, so it holds on the two hangers there, and we've got a joiner onto the 90 down, the 90 degree off the elbow, because basically you just wouldn't get anything back in there. There's got to be a join up by the turbo, and I kind of forgot about that. So I was going to have another join about where the flexi is, that ugly flexi, and the flexi was going to go further up, but I've had to just sort of change my plans. So we've got the cat there down to a little elbow, which I had to sort of cut down to about 30 degrees because of the random tunnel shape here on the 206 flexi, which turns out not to be stainless, which is part of the reason for those shocking welds. Other reason being I'm welding them. And then nice straight, tight 45. We're using the original hanger position there. And then I've just got one join to do there. I'm going to put a joiner about there. Obviously it can't be all one complete section. Very right pain. So we're just going to weld that on now before I start carrying on down that way. Oh, let's give you some light. There we go. So I'm just going to weld that on, and then we're going to clamp it onto the turbo, because if I clamp it onto the turbo and we put it up properly, and then this all moves here up or down or in or out, I'm doing this really tricky bit now that's got to go 90 degrees up and then 90 degrees forwards around all these this torsion bar and these support bars. So I don't want to sort of bolt this on later and then find all these welds are wrong as well. So we'll weld this up. The clamp will be about there, hopefully, and then we'll fit it this section for the final time, and then I'll work from there forwards. Probably about lunchtime then. Time for a brew. At 4 degrees, and it's now trying to snow. Well, you're back in the room. So my welds are getting slightly better, but I'm going to show you a problem. So that's that section finished. The clamp there. This bit's finished, but it's not there. I thought I'd show you before I put it back on. Let's go and have a look, shall we? So, as I was saying, the welds, in my opinion, were starting to get a little bit better. Not great, but I was getting a sort of I would get a flow every now and again, and I was like, oh, this is quite fun, this. Like, particularly nice bits. I was quite pleased with that. I mean, I don't think I could probably do better than that with much more practice. But with practice, it was, you know, getting easier. And then I was doing this section and tacking, and it was rubbish. Wouldn't sort of just spitting everywhere. And then I realised I'd run out of gas. Yeah, I'm on the little bottles, and I've used 3 of them just for this exhaust today, which is a bit of a pain. Never mind. So the last welds are just diabolical. But I mean, when you're welding without gas, as I found, I'm sure you'll know, there are lots of guys shouting at me right now, you get a flow going nice, you think it looks lovely, and then of course all the oxygen and the impurities get to it, and by the time it sort of cools, it just looks like poo. But there we go. So this is our silencer at the back, 14-inch. I think it's a 5-inch diameter silencer with 2.5 inch straight through the middle. A couple of hangers on it, one there, and then one just tucked underneath there to catch the 2 hooks on the 206. Just bent over the hooks just to grab on nicely, not be sliding around. And then just straight out pipe, and then I used a piece of 3.5-inch pipe, and I ovaled it just slightly, just to kind of match the OEM look. It doesn't look too bad, but when I get some gas, or maybe when I'm at Tiggy's, I'll get this off and get a die grinder on it, and we'll put some smarter welds, because these are the welds you're actually going to see, which is really annoying. All the other welds that I can do, and did do, where they are, you're never going to see them. Great, but the ones that are rubbish, going to see them. So let's fit them and see what it looks like and see what it sounds like. Got loads to put back in the engine bay, because I don't really consider there. There's loads of pipework and stuff out to be able to get to the turbo, which is all done now. Okay, let's fit it. Yee! Turbo boost! It's going to sound nothing like that. So that's how the tailpipe looks. It's nothing fancy, but I'm quite happy with it. It's pretty central. It didn't rub, hopefully, and it didn't look quite so puny. Looks pretty OEM to me. Doesn't look too bad. Yeah, there's a lot of paintwork to be done there, don't worry, that'll never get done. Then goes to straight, silencer, a couple of hooks holding it up, bendy bend. This is the complicated bits. I mean, the 2 complicated bits were at the front, sorting out the downpipe, and then the other bit was working this section out. So on a normal sort of 206 that's not got the GTI 180 axle with these extra sort of bars, which look real scabby, I know, it can just come straight across like that, which is how the old one was. And if it doesn't, it just whacks, and you raise it up and it hits there, so you have to have this sort of kink going on. So that was quite fun to work out, but it's worked out and it's on. Now I've just got to get all the intake pipe work etc on, and we'll start it up, see what it sounds like. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yummy. I really could do with a hot drink. Cocoa or tea? Tea. So, I assume you all want to hear what it sounds like. Sorry mate, might make it look a bit weird.
sound too bad if you ask me. Don't do that. Smells nice. It's good. It's lovely. I'm really happy. Kind of looks OEM. Sort of sounds OEM, with a little crisp of hello. And I'm quite happy, other than the last welds, which I ran out of gas. So, lessons to learn on this one. Practice getting your settings right on the welder. Don't run out of gas, and make sure you prepare the bit you're going to weld well. As I did that more sort of religiously as it went on, the welds did get better until I ran out of gas, and then they were shocking. But I'm happy with it. It fixes a number of problems and allows the turbo just to flow a little bit more, ready for stage 2. So look out for a front mounted intercooler install video coming soon. Thank you very much for watching. Please do stuff like Facebook it and Instagram it and like it and subscribe to it and share it with your friends. Let's see if we can hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of 2018. If you're watching this in 2028 and I've still not reached 5,000 subscribers, I probably gave up.